Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today I have the AV KVM Switch with dual monitor. And today I'll be doing the review. I will be doing the unboxing and go over some features, and I'll do a setup and I'll do a step-by-step demonstrations, and stay tuned to the end because I'm going to put this to a test. Now let's start with the unboxing. What I like to do is always show you what's around the box. And let's go over some of the wording. And you can see here, it just gives you a description of what it is again. And on the side, pretty much no really information. Same thing with this side. And then the bottom, it has a little bit more information. It gives you like a little spec view of how to install this. And what it also does, it has a cutout where you could just cut this out and take it with you, so when you're installing it, you know exactly how to put it in there. So this is a pretty good idea. All right, now let's get back to the unboxing. So we're going to open that tab here. And we're going to simply see what's inside. And right there in the beginning, you see is the manual right here. And we'll go over the manual in just a minute. And no, it's not all Chinese. There's English right in there. And let's see the cords here first. I want to see exactly what we're going to do with these cords, what they are. And this is the plug itself. And let me show you what kind of plug this is. And there you go. That's the type of plug. Pretty standard TV plug, actually. All right, so we know we got the plug in here. And then we got two... Let's see, how many of these do we have? Oh, wow. All right, we got 4 HDMI cables. And these are probably going to be the 2.0 cables. And I like that they give you the cables, because you might think you have some older cables at home and you think they work. But if you have an older cable like a 1.4, 1.6, it's not going to work. It can, it is backwards compatible, but when you have a 2.0 cable, you get all the resolution, all the latest information that you need right on these cables. So I like this. So, and you get 4 of these. So that is good. It saves you some money right there by giving you all these 4 cords. We'll put that to the side. And okay, here it is. Here's the rest of the power cable. The power cable we saw earlier goes right in here, and this one goes into the KVM switch. All right, so what this cable looks like, it was about 6 feet, and here you get another 6 feet, so you got about 12 feet to get to the plug that you need, because sometimes you do need a little bit more cord. So this is neat. I like this. All right, now let's get into the switch itself. Oh wait, there's 2 other cords here. These are the USB host cords. So these, here you go. That's a 3.0 cable. And see the blue, there you go, another 3.0 cable. So this goes into the KVM switch itself. You got 2 of them for computer 1, computer 2. I like this, that is giving you all the cords that you need right away. No need to spend additional money. All right, so let's open this up. Here it is. This is aluminum, hard aluminum. So it is good quality, very durable. And let's start with this side, the front side. And let me get you a better view of this. All right, if we start from left to right, you have the power switch, which turns it off and on. The next one, you have the mode switch, which you could switch it to KVM, which is the default, or you could switch it to USB mode. Then to the right of that, you have the switch button, in which you could select group 1 or you could select group 2. To the right of that, towards the middle, you're going to have the USB 1.1 input, and that is for your keyboard. To the right of that, you got 3 3.0 type A USB ports, and these could be for high-speed devices for your KVM functions. in which you could use your mouse, portable drive, USB cameras, and any other USB device that you need. And to the right of that one, to the right of that is your mic input. To the right of that is your headset output. Now let's take a closer look at the other side. All right, for the other side, starting from left to right, you have the power port, which is a 12 volt. To the right of that, you got group 1 inputs, which you have HDMI A and HDMI B inputs from computer 1. And in the middle, you have your USB host for computer 1. Next, you have your input 2 settings. You got your 2A and 2B, your HDMI inputs, and in the middle of that is your USB host 2 inputs. This is for your second computer. To the right of that is your monitor inputs for monitor A and monitor B. To the right of that is your micro USB for your firmware updates. Next, what I want you to notice is that it has these vents for overheating on both sides. So this is good. I like these vents on there. So this will give you top performance by these vents. And here is a top view. And in the bottom, you got your rubber grips. And next, we're going to do a step-by-step and how to install all your HDMI and USB cords into the KVM switch. Now, if you are interested in this item, I'll put links in the description down below. If this video has been helpful for you, please like this video and subscribe below. Now let's go with some of the features. The KVM switch is a plug and play, no drivers needed. Now this is perfect for home offices, gaming, and learning centers. The KVM switch allows you to control 2 PCs with one set of keyboard and mouse and 2 monitors at the same time. All you have to do is just press the front button for fast switching or tap on the keyboard hotkey. You can easily switch between 2 PC sources. The 2 PCs can serve up to 3 USB 3.0 peripherals, like a 4K webcam, external hard drive, speakerphone, printer, scanner, and any other USB device with a data transfer rate up to 5 gigabytes per second. The KVM switch supports 2 application modes, KVM mode and USB mode. You can switch this from the front panel. Now, the device is in KVM mode by default. Now, the KVM mode is simple. It's just pretty much what you're buying it for when you switch from one PC to the other. So when you have one PC on, PC 1, you'll be able to view 2 monitors, and you can control it by a keyboard and a mouse, and you still have 2 USB 3.0s available because one will be used for the mouse. So you still got 2 extra ports. Now all you got to do is switch the front and it'll go to setup number 2. And then from that other PC, again, you could view 2 monitors and you can control it by the same keyboard and mouse. And again, with whatever you put on those 2 additional USB slots, you'll also be able to control that, like an external hard drive. If you need the keyboard hot switching, you will need to connect a keyboard to the KVM switch dedicated USB 1.1 port. Now this is in front of the switch itself. In addition to the KVM mode, you can also toggle the switch to USB mode to stream 2 different video sources on 2 monitors simultaneously. It lets you handle multiple tasks on 2 screens easily. So on PC 1, you get your HDMI cord and you put it to 1A HDMI slot on the back of the switch. For your second computer, you run an HDMI cord to the port 2A on the back of the switch. Now, we're not going to use the B port on 1B and 2B. Now, whatever you put on 1A and 2A, it's what's going to come out on one monitor and 2A on the second monitor. And that's how you control it. And all you have to do is press the front switch to switch your keyboard and mouse. So when you're working on one computer, you press the switch and then you go to the second one with the monitors are side by side. And you're using both monitors for 2 computers and you're working them at the same time. Of course, all you're doing is switching the keyboards. Now, you might set your PC to sleep or hibernation mode when not in use. When you switch to the PC, you don't have to move your mouse or type in anything in the keyboard to wake it up.
The HDMI KVM switch can automatically wake up the PC with no manual operation required. Now the dual monitor KVM switch can automatically simulate the EDID, which is known as the Extended Display Identification Data. The EDID communicates the manufacturer specification and data between devices. This allows your AV sources to send the best compatible signal data to your screen to ensure the best possible picture results. The KVM can read the EDID information from the PC or copy the EDID and send it to the compliant monitor, which ensures that every video source is displayed with optimal resolution.
Now let me show you how this works. So right here we have a monitor and it says, "Hi, I'm monitored by XYZ manufacturer and I have these resolutions, 1080p and 720p. Well, the HDMI cord is then hooked up to the PC. And the PC says, "Nice to meet you. I'm glad you support 1080p. Here's my signal." And then they both form a signal. Now, what if there's a device in the middle, which is the AV access KVM? Well, the KVM will transfer the information to the PC. And then from the PC, again, we'll say, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm glad you support 1080p. Here's my signal." And again, you'll create a signal.
Now the KVM switch is HDCP 2.2 compatible, which is known as High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection. This is a copyright protection to eliminate the possibility of capturing digital content from the source to the display. Now, whenever you switch between two PC sources, the virtual interaction function allows you to switch faster and work more efficiently. The KVM switch supports video resolutions up to 4K at 60 Hz with a 4x4x4 8-bit, known as the 4x4x4, which is the highest quality digital video in decoding mode, which compresses all the color information in the original signal. 444 is another name for RGB color space and is a digital image or video in which all color components have the same sampling rate.
Okay, now let me show you how this 4x4x4 chroma sampling works. Now here you see two squares with 4 squares of colors in each one. And that is your 4x4x4. Now your 4x2x2, on the first set of 4, you got yellow, blue, red, and green. Well, on the 4-2 at 2, it's only sampling 2 of the colors, which is the yellow and the red. And for the next set, it's only sampling the lavender and the moth color. Now, when you go 4x2x0, well, it's only doing one color, which is the yellow and the lavender. With this HDMI KVM switch, you get 4x4x4 coloring, which is great for gaming and PC. If we take a look at this subsampling, you can see that 4x4x4 is best used for PC and video games. And for movies and sports and TV shows, well, you only really need 4x2x0. So the HDMI KVM switch gives you the maximum quality that you need.
Now this is an HDMI 2.0 certified, which supports up to 4K at 60 Hz at 18 gigabytes input and output. Now the 4K at 60 Hz at 18 gigabytes is a combination of 3 things: the 4K resolutions, the 60 frames per second, and the 4x4x4 chroma subsampling, which we just talked about. Now this trio has been used to signify 18 gigabytes per second HDMI support. Now 4K, also known as Ultra HD, means that the monitor displays a resolutions of 3840 by 2160, which is 4 times the resolutions of 1080p, to have a bandwidth of 18 gigabytes per second, which supports 4K resolutions at 60 frames per second. Now, you must have a compatible HDMI cable. The AV KVM switch gives you 4 HDMI cables that you need. Now, for your gaming experiences, now I'm reading this from the website because I didn't want to mess this up, especially for all you gamers. Now, the gaming experience with 120 Hz and 144 Hz. For esports games where every second counts, low refresh rates can cause picture lag, greatly affecting the player's performance. The KVM switch supports 1080p at 120 Hz and 2560 by 1440 at 144 Hz. Now, video with input and output, so it's giving you all that. to ensure that your gaming sources can effectively be switched. With the KVM switch, you can have an enjoyable gaming experience. Now with all that, it also supports all HDR formats such as HDR10, HLG, HDR, 10 Plus, and Dolby Vision. Now it has two 3-point headphone outputs. And it also supports CSC trigger on the HDMI outputs. And it works with various operation systems like Windows 10, 8, 7, and 11. And it works on Mac and Linux. Now this is no driver required, it's simply a plug and play. Now it also supports fantastic audio formats like PCM, 7.1, Dolby, True HD, Dolby Atmos, DTS-HD Master Audio, and DTS-X. Now let's set this up and do a quick test. I'm going to go and show you a step-by-step process and how I hook this up. That way it could help you.
All right, now it's time for the setup, and I have my laptop here, and this is what I'm going to set up first. And I'm going to start with the HDMI cord on this laptop. All right, got that one in, and now I'm going to go to the KVM switch, and I'm going to go to the first group A, and I'm going to connect it to 1A here. Next, I'm going to connect the USB cord. And I got that here, and I'm going to connect it to, again, group 1. Now it's time to connect my second HDMI cord to my laptop. But this laptop only has one HDMI port. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this adapter. It's a Type-C USB that connects to HDMI. And I'm going to connect it to my Thunderbolt port, my USB port here. My Type-C USB is a Thunderbolt. In order to get a second monitor, you got to make sure that this is a Thunderbolt Type-C USB port. And this one is, so I'm going to connect that in there first. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect the HDMI to the adapter. Then I'm going to connect it to this side. Here I am. Now I got 1B connected in. So this completes the first group, group 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect group 2. So let's go ahead, grab our desktop computer and start plugging those cords in. But what if you go to the back of your computer and you notice you don't have any HDMI ports? That's not a problem, because the AV KVM switch, you could use adapters, and we're going to use one for the DVI, and there's a back port for it. Now of course, if you have HDMI, that's the best source, but this is just in case you have maybe one HDMI and one DVI. Well, then you could use those. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and plug in the HDMI cord to the adapter, and then the adapter, we're simply just going to plug it in. And tighten up that tightening knobs to make sure we get a good secure connection. Next, we're going to connect it to group 2A. I'm not going to tap into the VGA. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the USB 3.0 ports, and I'm going to use that. And the way you do that is you get an HDMI USB port, and that one you could use to connect to there. Now some of these you need to install software. Most of them you don't. This one you don't have to. So I'm going to get the adapter, and I'm going to get my HDMI cord. I'm going to connect those in. And then I'm going to connect it to one of my USB ports, the 3.0 ports. Next I'm going to connect to group 2B slot. Alright, next is the USB. Connect that one in. And then for this one, I connect it to the other USB slot, the 3.0 slot. Now we're ready to install our monitors. For my right monitor, which is A, I'm going to connect that one here. And it's a silver cord. For my monitor B,
I'm going to connect it here, and this is a red HDMI cord. Okay, now we're ready to install our peripherals. So the first one I'm going to install is our keyboard. However, my keyboard uses a dongle, and this one is for a keyboard and a mouse. And I can actually just connect it to the 1.1 here, and it will work. So rather than installing a keyboard on one and mouse in one, I only use one port, and I still got these three open right here. Now I have this external hard drive that I use, and I toggle back and forth from these computers. So now all I got to do is just plug them into one port. And when I need it on either side, I could just use it right here. I don't have to unplug anything. Next is my webcam. And all I got to do is plug it in here. And for the next one, I'm going to install this card reader here. Oh, put it upside down. Now, if you want to use a microphone, you could connect it here, and a headset, you have the option to do it right here as well. All right, let's go ahead and power on the device. There's the first monitor, and the second monitor is on, and then you're going to see my portable drive come on, and we're going to exit out of that. And you see that one on there. What I did is, before I did any setup, I made sure the display background said 1 for group A, and then the second computer, I put a 2 on there. So this is the background. So when I switch it, it should have number 2 come up next. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, monitor's turned off, and they're going to turn back on, and there you go. Both of them actually went on at the same time. This is for group 2. And then again, there you go, you see the portable hard drive turn on. Okay, so we went from the first group to the second group, and both of them are working. Now, if you want to change the setup configuration of the display, what you could do is right-click, go to Display Settings, and you see your monitor position. So right now, if I try to change my monitor, I have to go to the right, but I want to go to the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press number 2, I'm going to hold it down and move it to the left side of 1. And I'm going to hit apply. So now when I scroll my mouse to the left, you see it going to the left. And it goes to the right and to the left. So that's how you do it. So we're going to get out of that. But we also put a camera in here. So let's go and turn on our camera. And we're going to maximize that so you can see it. And right now you can see me on the floor. Here you go. And this is the camera. So we're going to exit out of here now. And what we're going to do now is we're going to switch it to number 1 now, the first group. And we're going to do this, well, let's exit out of there. And we're going to do the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in there, hit camera, and there I am again. There is the webcam again. And that way we know at least the camera is working on both computers. And you saw my portable drive work on both of them. So the drives work on each computer. Now let's go ahead and turn it to USB. There we go. Switch that one up. And let's see what happens. You should have one computer on 1 and 2. So there you go. You got 1 and 2 up. Okay, so let's get out of this. Switch it to KVM. And we're going to switch it to 1. So there you go. It's all set up. It works. We toggled from left to right. And we got everything set up. All right, so what did you think? Is this the right KVM switch for you? If it is, I'll put links in the description down below. If this video was helpful for you, please give me that thumbs up. I appreciate that for you. Now, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and select all notifications because I got more videos of this AV Access KVM switch coming up for you. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.